Oh my fucking god. A game that won't play is a bad game. That name's gonna fucking irritate me. It should just be Singsfloof, not Singsfloof. It's gonna fucking irritate the shit out of me. We'll never understand why people are so fucking scared of me. it. Darn. My God. Oh. Fucking hell. Oh my god. It's so sad, honestly. Oh, go. Why is my camera right there? That's not where it's supposed to be. I am clicking flying and it's not turning off. VRChat, fix that, please. Please fix this shit. This is so annoying. My fucking legs hurt. I have to deal with a bunch of people not chatting in my server. Hmm. Fuck. Mm. Oh my god, oh. Katniss, hi. I'm doing fine. How are you doing, Katniss? Is Floof loved? Yes. Am I irritated? Fuck yes. Do I want to be around people? No. Am I gonna talk to people who don't talk to me? Yes. I mean, no. Am I going to sit there next to you if you're not gonna talk to me? No. Am I gonna sit in my Discord and be active for you people? No. Wanna know why? Why should I be active if you're not gonna be active? End the story. So I'm gonna sit here and mind my own business and do whatever the fuck I want to because it's my fucking shit. You're gonna sit there bitching your ass off at me, being like, "Loppy this, Loppy that. Why don't you love me? Like, is Floof loved? Am I loved? Like, well, I sit here and do nothing, just like you guys do. I'm doing exactly what you guys are doing. I'm being by myself. I'm not chatting in my server. I'm barely interacting with you guys. I just don't care anymore. I'm doing exactly what you guys are doing. Not doing shit.
Example of what he called two-tier justice was broadcast to hundreds of millions of users worldwide. The British government found itself fighting a war it couldn't win. How do you silence someone who owns the microphone? Government ministers tried fighting back. They accused Musk of spreading misinformation.
Wow.
They threatened him with legal action. The Metropolitan Police Commissioner even hinted at extradition proceedings. Think about that for a moment. British police threatening to extradite the world's richest man for posting on social media. The same police who couldn't prevent grooming gangs from operating for decades. This is where Musk's campaign gained unstoppable momentum. Because he didn't just highlight government overreach, he exposed the hypocrisy behind it. While working-class Brits faced prison for posting angry memes, violent criminals received community service. While social media users got 2 a.m. police raids, actual rioters who destroyed property received suspended sentences. The examples became impossible to ignore. A man jailed for 20 months for posting "Don't come to Southport" on Facebook. Meanwhile, a convicted paedophile received 18 months for actual child abuse. A woman imprisoned for sharing a false name online. While organised crime groups operated openly across social media with impunity. A grandfather locked up for attending a protest where he threw nothing and hurt nobody, while knife-wielding attackers in other cities received cautions. The pattern was undeniable. There were 2 justice systems in Britain, one for the establishment's preferred groups, another for everyone else. Then Musk went nuclear. He brought up the grooming gang scandal, the one topic the British establishment hoped would stay buried forever. For over 2 decades, organised gangs, predominantly Pakistani Muslim men, systematically abused thousands of white working-class girls across British towns. Rotherham, Rochdale, Telford, Newcastle, Oxford. The list goes on. The numbers are horrific. In Rotherham alone, at least 1,400 children were abused. Nationwide, estimates reach 100,000 victims or more. But here's the truly damning part. The authorities knew, police knew, social services knew, politicians knew, and they did nothing. Why? Because investigating would have been culturally insensitive, because prosecuting would have looked racist, because protecting white working-class girls was less important than avoiding difficult conversations about certain communities. And Keir Starmer, he was Director of Public Prosecutions from 2008 to 2013, right when key decisions were made to ignore these crimes. A whistleblower revealed the smoking gun. In 2008, a circular was sent to police forces acknowledging that child sexual exploitation was a well-known problem within Pakistani Muslim communities and instructing them to essentially do nothing about it. Starmer was in charge of the Crown Prosecution Service. He had the power to prosecute. He had the duty to protect children. Instead, his office argued that victims, vulnerable working-class girls,
I'm just putting
wouldn't be
audio in the
credible
background.
witnesses, that juries wouldn't
This
believe
is
them, that
Britain
prosecutions
alert.
would be too difficult. Translation, these children don't matter enough to bother. One of those supposedly impossible cases was later reopened and successfully prosecuted. The girls had been telling the truth all along. The system had simply chosen not to listen. Musk dragged this scandal back into the global spotlight, not with the gentle, diplomatic language politicians prefer, with brutal, direct accusations. Starmer was complicit in the worst mass crime in Britain's modern history, Musk posted. He chose political convenience over protecting children. He should face charges. Suddenly, the world was paying attention. International media picked up the story. Questions were asked that hadn't been asked in years. Why were so many prosecutions delayed or abandoned? Why were victims' concerns dismissed? Why has no senior official ever been held accountable? Starmer's response was telling. Instead of addressing the substance, he complained about foreign interference. Instead of explaining his decisions, he attacked the messenger. But Musk wasn't finished. Sources close to him confirmed he had moved beyond criticism to active political warfare. Private meetings were held. Strategies were discussed. The goal was clear: remove Starmer from power before the next scheduled election. Not in 2029. Now. The plan was multi-pronged. First, use X to continuously highlight government failures and hypocrisies. Second, back rising opposition parties like Reform UK. Third, pressure Donald Trump to isolate Britain economically until Starmer was gone. It sounds far-fetched until you realise Musk's unique position. He's not just wealthy, he's Donald Trump's closest advisor. He controls critical infrastructure like Starlink satellites. He has more social media reach than most world leaders combined. When Musk speaks, 200 million people listen. When he acts, markets move. When he picks sides, governments fall. In December 2024, Musk crossed a line that stunned the British establishment. He suggested King Charles should dissolve Parliament and call new elections. Constitutional experts were horrified. The last time a monarch dissolved parliament against the government's wishes was 1834. It would trigger the biggest constitutional crisis in British history. But Musk didn't care about constitutional niceties. He cared about results. Sometimes democracy needs a reset, he posted. When the government arrests citizens for social media posts while protecting grooming gangs, normal politics has failed. The post went viral instantly. #dissolve parliament began trending. Suddenly, ordinary Brits were discussing constitutional mechanisms most had never heard of. Every day brought new examples of government overreach. Every arrest for social media activity generated more outrage. Every revelation about past failure.
You wanna know something funny and are stupidly stupid about this? Is that there are Islamic Muslims who are part of the police who you can obviously see that shouldn't even be part of the police force in Britain.
Added to the pressure. Reform UK, the anti-establishment party Musk was quietly supporting, began climbing in polls. Nigel Farage, their leader, was suddenly getting invites to international conferences Musk attended. Meanwhile, Starmer's approval ratings collapsed. Even Labour MPs began privately questioning whether the social media crackdown had gone too far. Desperate, the British establishment tried multiple strategies to neutralise Musk's influence. They accused him of foreign interference. They questioned his motives. They suggested his criticism was racially motivated. None of it worked. Because Musk wasn't making vague accusations. He was posting specific examples, real cases, documented evidence of government failure. When politicians called him a liar, he posted court documents. When they accused him of bias, he highlighted cases across all demographics. When they questioned his facts, he invited them to prove him wrong. They couldn't. This battle transcended British politics. It became a test case for digital age democracy. Could traditional governments control information when private citizens owned the platforms? Could nations maintain sovereignty when billionaires commanded global audiences? Other world leaders watched nervously. If Musk could challenge a British Prime Minister successfully, who was next? Which government would be the next target of coordinated digital pressure? As 2025 began, the pressure was becoming unsustainable. Every day brought new revelations. Every week brought new polling showing government collapse. Starmer's responses became increasingly desperate. Scripted soundbites.
Alright, we're gonna switch videos. Forbidden to speak Gaelic.
The battle for free speech and entertainment is on. 4chan taking it to the UK, filing a lawsuit inside the US of A. Today, we've got the attorney representing 4chan. Ron Coleman is here. He'll tell you why this is far bigger than just one company trying to defend their right to say what they want to say. No, this is about entertainment all across the US of A. Hello folks, welcome back to the Pro Channel. It is a joy to have you here, and sometimes we talk about Star Wars, sometimes we talk about Marvel, sometimes we talk about Disney. Protect against. Okay, so walk us through the mechanics of this, because you're an expert here, we're not. We don't know how this engine runs. The United Kingdom government is going after a U.S. company.
Fucking hell.
From the Hill, Trump, Soros' son, should be charged under racketeering law.
There you go.
And I'll just go directly to the source. This is the truth heard round the world yesterday. Oh, sorry. We have right here. At Real Donald Trump. George Soros and his wonderful radical left son should be charged with RICO because of their support of violent protests, and much more, all throughout the United States of America. We're not going to allow these lunatics to rip apart America anymore, never giving it so much as a chance to breathe and be free. Soros and his group of psychopaths have caused great damage to our country. That includes his crazy West Coast friends. Be careful, we're watching you. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
I love the sign.
I've got a lot of thoughts on this, but let me pass around the table.
Well, I love it. I think it's brilliant. Look, they've been funding, if not directly, at least indirectly, all of the groups that pay people to attend these protests that inevitably turn into riots. And he also funds all of the prosecutors who let the people out of jail. So it really is literally a racket.
Yeah. The fact that George Soros, the phrase a Soros prosecutor or Soros DA is something that's so well known throughout the United States is a massive problem. George Soros has been doing all that he can to fund far left-leaning DAs and prosecutors that release criminals back into society. You can have all the law enforcement you want in a city. You can have umpteen $1 million, whatever, when it comes to law enforcement. But if the judges and the district attorneys don't prosecute and put these criminals away, it doesn't matter. And like we've seen in DC, the amount of people that you actually have to take off the street to radically change the crime statistics, it's not a lot. The police know the people that are committing these crimes. They can usually call them out by name. Especially when you're talking about beat cops. Yeah. They know who's out there committing the crimes.
Oh my god, this is fucking annoying as shit.
We got fellow content creator Rev Says Desu, who also wants you to know that he loves his wife. And he got himself into a pickle, got himself into a jam, apparently. He is the violator.
So another day and another round of people seething about Saba the VTuber. Now,
yay, another stupid video by some random person on the internet.
Graduated from
I don't know what I'm saying.
Yes, I'm violating all of the past life guidelines people pretend to care about on social media, but everyone knows this is the new account of Gargura, and she has had immense levels of success as an indie. That is not surprising to anyone. And of course, when you have a huge debut and many successful streams that follow that debut, you're going to attract attention of VTuber fans as well as normies. And normies have been having a very, very hard and seething-filled time encountering Saba. And once again today, we're going to look at another round of controversy involving her, and perhaps one of the most ridiculous examples yet. So we have this post sharing a clip of Saba from a recent karaoke stream. The caption is, "Nothing floors me faster than a woman with a beautiful singing voice." Now I can't play this because YouTube is really weird. Even with covers, they'll copyright claim this video.
I fucking hate that shit. It's so annoying.
The UK has been called out by the US once again. And again, it's about freedom of speech and censorship. Vice President JD Vance sat down with UK Foreign Secretary David Lammy to discuss various geopolitical and economic issues, but couldn't help but give a warning about freedom of speech and censorship.
I'd say I've raised concerns about free speech in the United States of America. I think the entire collective West, the transatlantic relationship, our NATO allies, certainly the United States under the Biden administration, got a little too comfortable with censoring rather than engaging with a diverse array of opinions. So that's been my view. Obviously, I've raised some criticism and concerns about our friends on this side of the Atlantic, but the thing that I'd say to the people of England or to anybody else, to David, is many of the things that I worry most about were happening in the United States from 2020 to 2024. I just don't want other countries to follow us down what I think was a very dark path under the Biden administration.
Commentator Brad Palumbo agreed with the VP, saying the UK is heading down a dark path of censorship.
I think he's absolutely right about the United Kingdom and their sad decline in freedom of speech and freedom of press. I mean, you have thousands of people who've been arrested over the years because of things they posted on social media. That is not a free country. That is a kind of modern dystopia, an authoritarian state where the government can roll up with the authorities to come get you because they don't like what you have to say. It is sad to see that happen to one of our greatest allies, a beautiful nation with a long history and legacy as a beacon of freedom in the West. And I also appreciate JD Vance calling them out for it. But honestly, it will have to come from within. Their own citizens